Welcome to Bakhita's Blessings, our weekly podcast where we explore issues in the life of the church and our world, and also break open the gospel for our Sunday liturgy as we follow our patron saint, Saint Josephine Bakhita, and our mission to open wide our doors and our hearts to worship, evangelize, and serve all God's people. I'm Father Mitch, and I'm pastor of St. Josephine Bakhita Parish, and I'm grateful that you've joined us for our podcast.
Yes, Father Mitch. And you did, let me just say, I keep telling you that you did some good preaching, but you really did some good preaching. Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Alice Prince, and I am the Director of Evangelization and Communication for St. Josephine Bakhita Parish. And I absolutely love him. But let me tell you, your interest when you was like to worship, evangelize, and serve, sometimes that gets a little heavy when you have to do all of that. That's how it sounded. But listen, that means you are doing the work of the church.
Right.
Because sometimes the work is heavy. Sometimes the work is heavy. But listen, we have a guest today who also does the heavy work of community.
Amen.
And I cannot wait to get started. So can you please pray for us and then we can get started?
Sure. In the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, Lord God, we continue in our prayers for peace. We ask your blessing upon the mission of St. Josephine Bakhita Parish as we strive only to build your kingdom. Help us to remain faith-filled, help us to remain courageous, help us to persevere in this important work of doing justice in the world, all through Christ our Lord.
Amen. Bakhita's Blessings podcast is on the way.
All right.
Hello, Bakhita's Blessings podcast community. We love you. If we have not told you lately, which I try to tell you every week, how much I love you, how grateful I am to you that you make this journey with us. And it's a special journey, right? We're in our Lenten season. So how are you doing with your Lenten journey? How are you doing? Listen, if for some reason you said you were going to give up something, and then, say for example, Father Mitch said he was going to give up cake. I don't know what he said he was going to give up. But let's just say he was going to give up cake. And then he ate some cake. And he felt really bad. He can get back on the journey, right? You know? So listen, get back on your journey. God is just calling us to go deeper. He just wants a relationship with us, right? And remember, as you are fasting, put him in more. And that's what's important. So listen, we got some Black Girl Magic on the show today. And I'm excited. We have a person who will become a good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. We just met, but it was kindred spirits. It's almost like when you walk in spirit with someone, when you walk in alignment with someone, when you walk with the same intentions as someone. That's how me and this dear sister met. She's all about community. She's all about health. She's all about wellness. So I am going to introduce you to Dr. Echols. And so, listen, I just said my little thing. Father Mitch is going to say his little thing, and then I'm going to toss it back over to you because we want to hear who you are. So, Father Mitch.
Well, I'm just grateful that you've joined us. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your mission and the importance of health and forming community. It's so needed. So thank you for being with us.
Absolutely.
Yes. Come on, so sprinkle some of this Black Girl Magic on us, Dr. Echols. Tell us a little bit about who you are and then your foundation, why it got started, why health, wellness, why all of that is important.
Okay, so I am Dr. Michelle Eccles, founder of 8 Dimensions Wellness Center. As a clinician, it was my mission just to spread the ability and access to mental health care. So St. Louis, we are a community that is full of people who are low income, minority, all those things. So I just wanted to be able to create a space that we can go and find all the things that we need in one place. We don't have to go to all these different communities to get the things. So creating access was really important to me. Mm-hmm. So, and I wanted to connect to all the 8 dimensions of wellness, because when we serve one part of us, we only serving one part of us. So when we serve all 8 dimensions, we serve the whole person. So being able to help people elevate in every facet of life was really important to me. So the center was created. So we provide access to mental health care. We provide community programming. We have a community nutrition program called Nourish the Neighborhood, where local chefs come in and they teach the community how to cook healthy meals on a budget. We have a business building class taught by Mike Jones. We have financial literacy, which we partner with Bank of America. They come in and they teach us about growing and elevating in our financial areas of life. We have a youth program that is launching this summer called The Art of Me. So all of the arts will be combined into a summer camp program, ages 11 through 15. And that will be free to those who get to participate. We'll have 15 or 20 youth in that program. We work with the area schools in St. Louis, so we are able to provide mental health care for free to those who need
that's
it.
great.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
great. Yeah.
You know who I'm thinking we need to also hook her up with? The Devin Alexander Foundation.
Well, sure.
Because you guys are kind of in that same area too. But listen, so I love that you said the 8 dimensions of health. Because when you serve just one part, you just serve in one part.
That's it.
But listen, when you neglect one part, it impacts all the parts.
Everything.
That is so important. That is so important. I was wondering where did the 8 dimensions come from. So thank you so much for telling me that. I think that is very important for our community to understand it's okay not to be okay.
Absolutely.
It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to name, you know what, I'm not okay. Because if you don't name it and give space for it, you can't heal it. And Father Mitch is always talking about we got to get to the center of the womb to heal it. And some of us, sometimes because we've had so much trauma, you know, growing up, we don't want to get to the center of the womb. But sometimes we have to travel in deep. A womb heals from the inside out. So we have to get to the inside. And I love that you are thinking about all of that, because that's the only way we will have driving communities and thriving communities. So what drives you to do all of that? Because it's hard work. Running a non-for-profit is hard work.
It is.
Running a non-for-profit for community is also, it is very, very hard when you provide those direct services to the community, because you are actually seeing the hurt of community, right?
Absolutely.
So talk about that.
So, long time ago, I used to work for an agency called Eastern Seals Midwest. I worked with people who had developmental disabilities, and I would take them to the psychiatrist or their therapist for a session. We would have an appointment, let's just say 10 o'clock. They wouldn't get seen until about 12 o'clock. They would go in there with the clinician, sit for about 3 or 4 minutes. He asked them about 5 questions, send them on about their way, change their medicine, and that was it. And I was like, this can't be mental health. Like, there has to be quality clinicians in here. So I was like, you know what? One day I'll be a therapist. And I just kind of let that be. And time went on, and finally it was my time. So once I became a therapist, I was like, okay, I've solved one part of the problem, but the biggest problem was access. So people who are low income, no income, don't have access to quality care. And I'm like, let's just change that narrative. So,
I love that. Let me ask you this question, and then I'm going to toss it to you, Father Mitch. I'm sorry.
That's all right. No,
I'm
I love
loving all of this. I'm so sorry.
Sure.
I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm going to toss it to you right after this question. Tell me, how does faith play a role in mental health, or in your walk with mental health, or does it play a role?
It does, which that's actually a big thing that people are learning now in the faith community, that mental health is kind of a thing of its own, but they go hand in hand with faith. So having faith allows you the ability to trust that there is a process to getting better. Spirituality is one of the dimensions of wellness that we address there. So being able to have a faith-based place to go, and it doesn't have to be a church, because I know that you're supported in different ways. So we wanted to be somewhere separate from the church, where you still can feel blessings, you can still feel healing, you can still feel God in what you're doing there. So that was important for us as well.
I love that. Let me tell you, if y'all got any Catholics your way, send them to us.
Okay.
Send it to St. Josephine.
Right.
Okay, Father Mitch, go ahead.
Right. So this is such an important ministry, and I love that when you recognized a need, rather than just complaining about it or wishing that it was different, you made a decision to make it different.
Yes.
And that kind of commitment and courage is really what the community needs more and more and more. Yeah.
I love that. I would love to see her maybe even doing a circle session with our young adults or something.
Oh
You know what I
my
mean?
gosh,
To
yeah.
help
love
kind
that.
of.
Oh,
You
they
would
would
love
love
to
it.
something like
Yeah.
that. I may put something like that together, doing a circle session with our young adults, just so that they can unpack and navigate. Because so many times, I hear adults tell young people like, I know what it's like, and I'm like, no, you really don't know what it's like being. And you know what it was like for you
During your time.
but times have changed.
Right.
I couldn't imagine. I mean, we had Facebook and MySpace. I know I'm aging myself, and the only people that had Facebook was people in college. So if a guy walked up to you and said, give me my MySpace, I'm like, you don't got a Facebook, then possibly, So I'm aging myself when I say that, but. My God, if TikTok was around when I was a young, when I was in high school or when I was in junior high, those pressures of social media, and then all that's happening around in our world with, I'm going to say it, Father Mitch, and I don't want us to get in trouble, but with ICE and the immigration.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
I'm going to say it. I don't want us to get in trouble.
No,
It's
no,
me,
no.
not him. The war that's happening. All of that plays a role in the life of our young people. So we want to make sure that we support the young church. And in supporting the young church, we need to support them holistically. And so that means part of their mental health is one of their dimensions.
Absolutely.
So we need to do this. Tell us something, or tell the community something that you like, that I have to ask, that you want them to know about 8 dimensions, about you, about this walk, about your own ministry.
Well, we aim to serve all things wellness. So within the center, we do have a massage therapist who also does yoga classes. We have a chiropractor on site who also does assisted stretching. And those are things that you don't really realize you need until you get it and you're like, oh my God, where has this been? So we really aim to bring all those things into one place. Another service that I've been doing, I actually have not announced it, but I've just been doing it kind of on the low. So I do sound baths, which is sound therapy.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't charged for them outside of just like workshops for different places, but I've been intentionally going or inviting groups to the center to have them free of charge, just because these are people who don't have access to this normally. They may not even know what it is. So when they get it and experience it, and they have that sense of total relaxation, it's like, okay, I've tapped into a place that I didn't know existed, so let me keep trying to get there. So that is something that I have been doing. So when you mentioned your group, I'm like, oh, that's another group that I can do that for.
I love that. Now we got to shout out Mike Jones, because he brought us together. So talk to us a little bit about the classes that he offers with you.
Absolutely. So it actually started.
Is he one of your board members too?
He is. He's the vice president of 8 Dimensions Wellness Center, and we got connected through Facebook.
Okay.
I was posting workouts, and he commented on something, and then I said something back to him, like, you know what? Because he always talks about business on Facebook, and I was like, well, I was looking for something for men, and he was like, well, what do you want to do? Let me know. I'm willing to help. So I wanted to do. We were originally going to do just a business class for men to help them elevate and scale their business, but the women were like, well, what about us? We want to do it too. So he's like, you know what? I'll be nice. Anybody can join. So the first cohort that went through, we had 5 different groups, over 70-something people who signed up for their class.
Wow.
But it was a 6-week cohort for each group that went through, and they just learned different things about marketing, foundation of having their business together, just so that they can grow and scale. So he came in and he started out as a volunteer, and then we were like, you're really connected. You are dedicated to our mission. You want to be on the board?
That's how you build your board.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's how you build your board.
Right.
So shout out to Mike Jones and the
Absolutely.
men of Omega Sci-Fi, always giving back to the community.
Absolutely.
He's done some stuff for the school. He's done some stuff for our church. Every time I look around, he's doing something in the community.
Right.
So, and it's a lot of stuff that he does not post about, and he does not say. Just even all the people that he helped during tornado, and just all the stuff. So yeah, we appreciate you, my brother.
Absolutely.
So we definitely want to do that. So listen. I know you love Dr. Echols just like I love her, and if you want to connect with her, please just follow us. I will have her information. If you want to check her out, if you want to support her, please like, follow, comment, share. There is something scrolling on your screen right now at this very moment that is telling you to do all of these things so that you can stay connected with St. Josephine Bakhita's community and Bakhita's Blessings podcast. In a second, Father Mitch is going to come and he's going to break open and break down the gospel. Are you ready, Father Mitch?
Yes, and I think Dr. Eccles has helped us. Thanks, Michelle.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Bakhita's Blessings podcast, are you ready for the gospel? I am, because I'm always, Father Mitch, I'm always searching out how can I live a holier life. So please, the gospels help me. You are a great teacher and preacher. So you ready to break open and break down the gospel?
Yes, it's an exciting gospel. Well, all the gospels are exciting. I shouldn't. But this story in John's gospel, it's all of chapter 9 of John's gospel. Mm-hmm. So it's a long story, and it's designed during this Lenten journey to accompany all of our catechumens and candidates who are going to be entering the church at Easter. And so it's another encounter with Jesus. This time, the title of the story is The Man Born Blind. Mm-hmm. But he's really not at the center of the story. He ends up being an eloquent witness because of his encounter with Jesus. But what's fascinating, and I so appreciated hearing from you, Michelle, everyone in this story is blind. Mm-hmm. And the man born blind is the only one that at least acknowledges, yes, I'm having difficulty seeing the world. And Jesus approaches him and heals him so that he can see. And he does it, there's a beautiful image. He puts the clay of the earth, a paste on his eyes, and covers him and invites him to go wash in the pool of Siloam, which he does, and then he's able to see. And that image of God, Jesus, mm-hmm. taking the clay of the earth and fashioning a healing, mm-hmm. He really is inviting this man born blind to become a new creation, mm-hmm. to begin mm-hmm. again. Mm-hmm. And while he's doing that, he's inviting everyone around in the community to also see with new eyes. And it turns out, even to the very end, no one else in the gospel can see. Mm-hmm. They're trapped in fear. They're trapped in a misunderstanding of the law. Even Jesus' own disciples, they ask this question like, well, if this guy's blind from birth, it must be because either he sinned, I think he's blind from birth. Now, come on, guys. Wake up. Mm-hmm. He's blind from birth. It's not his sin. Mm-hmm. Or his parents or someone in his family sinned, and mm-hmm. then he's being punished. That this blindness is a punishment for sin. And Jesus right away says, no, it's never been about that. Mm-hmm. And what he says is, this is so that the works of God can be revealed. Mm-hmm. And I think right away, even us, mm-hmm. I think I've probably heard it this way and imagined it this way. Oh, so his blindness is a disability that invites healing so that God's glory can be revealed. And there's some truth to that. Mm-hmm. That's not an unbeautiful story, but mm-hmm. it's not really what Jesus, I think he's inviting us to a much deeper place even than that. I think what Jesus is saying is, if we could see, mm-hmm. if we weren't trapped by our blind spots, we've talked about that a lot, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. we need to invite one another to help us see, mm-hmm. right? Help me realize that I do have that's the nature of a blind spot, is I can't see it. I need help. Mm-hmm. And if we remain open to each other in relationship, we can help each other learn how to see. Mm-hmm. And I believe what Jesus is saying to us is, if your eyes are open, you will recognize God's glory in every person you encounter, mm-hmm. in every circumstance mm-hmm. that you enter. Mm-hmm. And just like Michelle bringing her gifts and God's grace to the circumstances of this need in the community, instead of just saying, oh, they're all blind, they're all sinners, you just said, well, no, I'm going to bring healing and peace right here. Mm-hmm. Like that's how it works. If our eyes are opened, mm-hmm. we see God's glory everywhere. Mm-hmm. And what we're seeing in this community around the man born blind is the disciples think it's because of some sin. That's not right. The scribes and Pharisees, first of all, they're jealous of Jesus, right? Because they see he's acting with authority that they have never really experienced in their own lives. And then they try and play the Sabbath card. I mean, it's so... if it wasn't really happening in that community, you'd want to laugh. I'm tempted to laugh because it's almost ridiculous. Because there's a provision in the law of Moses that if you come across even your neighbor's beast of burden or even your enemy's beast of burden, even if it's on the Sabbath, you have to relieve the burden of the beast and help them up. And so Jesus heals the blind man on the Sabbath, and they want to say, hey, he's working on the Sabbath. He can't be from God. I mean, how they're trapped in the darkness, and they're not letting the light of Christ anywhere near their lives. It's so sad. And then they want to find out, well, how did he do this? How did he perform this miracle? And they went, maybe he wasn't really blind. So then
They went to the mama.
they go to the parents.
Yeah.
And then the parents, instead of just saying, yeah, our son was blind from birth, instead of rejoicing in the healing, they're afraid, well, if we say the wrong thing, they're going to kick us out of the synagogue. So they're living in fear and not able to step fully into their lives either. So every step of the journey, the only person that speaks freely without concern of what might happen to me is the man who was born blind. And he's the one who accepts Jesus' invitation to healing. Then he calls him a prophet. And then he says, oh my gosh, I believe in you. I believe you are the one whom God has sent to free us. And he worshipped him. So the man born blind is the only one in the story who can see.
And that's the part that I was getting at.
Yeah.
The very second that you said everybody else in the story was blind, but the man born blind. That's exactly what I said. Oh gosh, there was a conviction in my spirit when you said that.
Right.
Because I'm thinking about as church and as community now, Father Mitch, are we walking around blind?
And the way we can help each other is by just admitting there's more for me to see. We don't have to belittle ourselves or be self-critical. It's not about that. It's about letting more of the light in to transform the darkness.
Is there more for us to see? Thank you. Because I was about to go down there like, Alice, are you walking around blind? Even when, so I like when we exegesis the text, because you also are able to see the voices that are not there, right? You're able to do what you just did. Everybody in the story is blind but the blind man, you know, and that's a real thing. Like, it really does make you think, where are the blind spots? Where can we see more clearer? Where are, things that we look at, but do we really see it?
Right.
Do we really see the person? Do we really see the being in the human part of it? Like, and if we did, then do we really see them as children of God?
Exactly.
Because if we saw them as children of God, we would treat them a little bit better. What is that? You know what I mean? Like, it's deep, huh? But I think, to Father Mitch's point, it goes back to what he said about you. Your ministry does see them. And your ministry sees them, your not-for-profit sees them in a way that I want to heal all of them.
Not just a part.
Not just the part. That, that's, so give us some life applications, Father Mitch. What else do we do?
Yeah, well,
how can we see more?
I'm not recommending a new logo, but maybe the 8 dimensions is the pool of Siloam, where we go to be born again, to let go of whatever ails us. And so thank you again for your mission.
Absolutely.
But I do believe, as you had said, if my eyes are open, even though it might be difficult, the assumption It's more than an assumption. The truth of every encounter between any human beings anywhere on the face of the earth in any circumstance is that we are beloved children of God. That's the only truth. And if we have difficulty seeing that or trusting that, then the work is ours to do. Right? It's not somebody else's fault if I can't see Christ in them. Right? Because Christ is in them.
That's true.
And whatever circumstances of life have brought this person to me, that's not for me to judge. My only purpose is to see. And that's, I think, what Jesus is inviting us to recognize God's glory in every moment and especially in every human being that we encounter. And I think with that attitude, trusting God's abundant mercy always at work in us, I think we can solve some of these problems that get away from us sometimes.
I love it. I think it's also a good part of the Lenten journey as we're on this 40-day journey into Easter, Palm Sunday. I think that God is calling us to go deeper and look deeper within one another, look deeper within our neighbor, look deeper within our community, so that we can truly see, recognize, and really feel and embody and embrace we all belong to God.
Exactly.
All of us.
Right.
All of us.
Right.
Sheesh. Okay. I told you he good, didn't I? Didn't I? Bakhita's Blessings Podcast. Listen. Come worship with us if you have not. Because you want to, he is amazing. I love the way Father Mitch really just breaks down the gospel and gives us these life applications. So listen, if there was something that struck you, let me know. Put it in the comments. Send me an email. We're at stbakhita@stl.org. Every Tuesday night, we're having Bible study. We're having Lexo Divina Bible study. We're having Mass. Every Friday, we're having a fish fry at Most Holy Trinity. And our Most Holy Trinity site is an indulgence site. So come, pray, have Mass with us at 12 o'clock every single Friday. Eat fish. And, get this special indulgence. Every Saturday at 9 a.m., we also have Mass at Most Holy Trinity. And we have Mass at our Saints Teresa and Bridget campus on Sundays. So please be a part of it. Be a part of it. Come. So, Father Mitch, you got any parting words for us?
Just thank you for being with us and trust God's love always at work in your life.
Absolutely. So on a count of 3, we're going to say bye. And we have our special ways of saying bye, so you just got to figure it out.
Okay.
After 3, you'll catch on. 1, 2, 3, bye-bye. Have you been back to turkey time?
I haven't, mainly because I've been trying to
Do right.
mainly because I've been
Trying to do right.